Democracy tells us that the people rule. Marxism insists the workers will rise. Fascism declares the nation must be led by destiny. But a colder, more sobering tradition says, no matter the banner, a few will always rule the many. This is the heart of elite theory. Elite theory is a school of political thought that holds this fundamental premise. In every society, a minority, the elite, rules over the majority. It does not matter whether the state calls itself democratic, socialist, or nationalist. In practice, power is always held by a small, organized minority. This perspective arose in the late 19th and early 20th centuries, not as a utopian project, but as a realist diagnosis of how political power actually works. Key idea: elite theory is descriptive, not prescriptive. It doesn't say who should rule, only who does. Gaetano Mosca argued that society is always divided into a ruling class and a ruled class. He coined the term political class, noting that elites maintain power through organization, not necessarily wealth. 100 organized men will always defeat 1,000 unorganized men. Mosca, the ruling class, 1896. He warned that elites use political formulas, ideologies like democracy, monarchy, or socialism, to justify their rule to the masses. Mosca favored limited constitutional government, but he believed democracy was more myth than mechanism. Vilfredo Pareto, a sociologist and economist, introduced the idea of the circulation of elites. He believed history is not progress, but a cyclical rotation of dominant groups. Old elites decay, new elites rise, but rule never vanishes. He divided elites into foxes, cunning, manipulative rulers, for example, liberal technocrats and lions, forceful, conservative rulers, for example, military strongmen. History is a graveyard of aristocracies. Pareto, The Mind and Society, 1916. Robert Michels, once a socialist, coined the iron law of oligarchy. Who says organization says oligarchy? Michels' Political Parties, 1911. He showed that even in democratic organizations like socialist parties, a few leaders always dominate decision-making. Disillusioned, Michels later supported Italian fascism, not because it was just, but because it openly acknowledged the inevitability of elite rule. James Burnham argued that neither capitalists nor proletarians rule modern society, but a new class of managers, technocrats, bureaucrats, and corporate executives. This managerial elite governs both capitalist and socialist states, not through ownership but through control of institutions. Burnham's influence was profound. His ideas shaped Cold War realism and conservative critiques of bureaucracy. From the left, C. Wright Mills examined post-war America and identified a power elite, a triad of military, corporate, and political leaders who made the real decisions behind the democratic facade. Though critical of capitalism, Mills echoed the elite theorists. Democracy, he warned, was increasingly symbolic. Classical liberalism, the foundation of American constitutionalism, is based on individual rights, limited government, and rule of law. It assumes that with the right institutional safeguards, elections, separation of powers, a free press power can be checked and balanced. Elite theorists are skeptical. Mosca and Michels argued that those who write the laws, enforce them, and interpret them are all part of the elite. Elections change faces, not structures. Representative democracy is still the rule of the few, only more indirect. Mosca, the ruling class. Contrast. Liberalism says institutions restrain power. Elite theory says institutions are captured by elites. Implication: a conservative who values constitutional limits must understand elite dynamics to preserve liberty effectively. Marxism claims political power flows from economic class. The bourgeoisie rules through capitalism, and revolution will lead to a classless society. Elite theory rejects this. Pareto and Mosca argued that class rule may change form, but elite domination remains. The workers do not take over, their leaders do. Lenin saw the problem too. He believed workers wouldn't achieve revolution on their own, so he created the vanguard party. But elite theory says the vanguard is the new elite. Soviet communism did not abolish hierarchy, it replaced capitalist elites with party elites. Michels predicted this perfectly. The Iron Law held even in the USSR. Fascism embraced elite rule but wrapped it in myth, national destiny, racial unity, and the cult of the leader. Pareto and Michels sympathized with Mussolini early on, seeing him as a lion, restoring vigor to a decadent elite. Mosca, however, condemned fascism's totalitarianism. Difference: elite theory analyses elite rule. Fascism glorifies it, mobilizing the masses for elite goals. Nazism was a racial totalitarian elite ideology. It rose as an anti-elite movement, but immediately installed a new elite, the Nazi party hierarchy. Elite theorists would see the Third Reich as oligarchy masked in racial myth. Hitler's regime confirmed the theory. A tight circle of military-industrial elites ruled a disempowered population. New elites always justify themselves with a myth. Pareto. In the 21st century, new elites have emerged. Media gatekeepers, intelligence bureaucracies, tech oligarchs, global finance. Burnham's managerial elite is real and growing. Conservatives especially must understand, you do not defeat an elite by empowering the people. You defeat one elite by building another rooted in different values. That's not populism, that's realism. Elite theory is not a call to cynicism, it's a call to vigilance. If power always concentrates, the question is not whether there will be elites, but which elites, and under what constraints. A constitutional republic must not deny the existence of elites, it must discipline them. To paraphrase Burnham, the real struggle is not between classes or ideologies, but between rival elites and how to keep them accountable. Thank you for watching. If this video helped clarify the real nature of political power, like and subscribe. References and reading suggestions are in the description below.